Hey everyone, it's Monica. Welcome back to my Bible journaling channel. It is Faithful Friday, and every Friday here in December, I am tackling a new entry based on the Bible study, Jesus Cares for Women. And this entry here is Jesus Cares for the Woman Who Worshipped. And this is the story of Mary, the sister of Lazarus, breaking open this alabaster jar of fine ointment and offering it to Jesus. So here is the book, Jesus Cares for Women. It's put out by Nav Press, and we are on the 4th lesson already. We've done the suffering woman, the sorrowing woman, the adulterous woman, and today we're doing the woman who worshipped. And each week I'm collaborating with a different lovely lady here on YouTube, and today's collaboration is with Ms. Stacy Zant, and I will link to her channel and her video in the description box and also in the info cards. So please go check her out. She has a wonderful heart for the Word of God and women. So you can see I've applied a single layer today of that matte gel medium, and I'm doing it to both pages because this is going to be a 2-page spread. And again, I'm still new with the matte medium. I'm holding back my opinions on it until I've used it a little bit more. But I do enjoy using it because it lets me use Brusho in my Bible. And you can see right now, I'm just giving the Bible a quick spritz of water in a few places, and then sprinkling on this Brusho, which is basically watercolor, but in sort of a crystalline form. And what that did was gave me some speckles on my page that are quite subtle, but you'll be able to see them a little bit better in just a minute. Ordinarily, Brusho bleeds through my Bible pages like crazy, so I'm excited to be able to use that matte gel medium to stop that problem. Now you can see I am working on sketching out this alabaster jar that Mary broke open, and I did that just so that I wouldn't have to do a lot of sketching on the Bible page. The matte gel medium, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to erase, and so I wanted to kind of have a clear layout before I started putting the picture into my Bible, which is just what I'm doing right now. You can see I've used light pencil to trace it in, and now I'm using my Faber-Castell PITT Artist pen to simply put the outline in this permanent pen. My next step was to experiment with all these different colors from my brush pens. Alabaster is sort of a creamy brown stone, and it has some veining in it, and it has some dark browns and some lighter browns, and it can really vary from piece to piece in appearance. But I thought, let me just experiment with the colors that I have and see how they work together before I go ahead and start coloring in my Bible. So this is kind of my sketch version, if you will, and I was just sort of experimenting to see how dark do I want to go on the shadows, how much brown do I want to use, things like that, just sort of preparing myself to go ahead and color the image that I have in my Bible now. So here I go. I'm going to go ahead and start with just the grays, and I'm adding some shadowing on this alabaster jar. And my light source is coming from the left, so my darker shadows are going to be toward the right. And as you're watching me color this in, let me just share with you a little bit about this story. So this is the story of Mary breaking open this alabaster jar and pouring this fine ointment of pure nard over the head of Jesus. And this is found in Mark chapter 14. And I would like to first read the response that she received from the other people who were in the room. There were some who said to themselves indignantly, "Why was this ointment wasted like that? For this ointment could have been sold for more than 100 denarii and given to the poor." And they scolded her. But the words of Jesus are so important here, and I'm going to get to those in just one second. So I did want to talk about the use of these brush pens on top of the matte gel medium. They take a little bit longer to dry, so you saw me use a couple different applications of the hairdryer to dry them out between the grays and the browns. And then I did use a white gel pen to go in and just add back in some of the little details that I felt like had gotten a bit lost in the shadows and in the addition of the color. So here in the upper right hand corner, I'm simply adding my lettering that I've added to every page in my Jesus Cares for Women series. And I just added in the corner, Jesus cares for the woman who worshiped. Like I said, the men around her, the other people in the room, scolded Mary for doing such a foolish thing. But these here are the words of Jesus himself. He said, "She has done a beautiful thing." And he even talked about, with her doing this, it was as if she was preparing him for burial. So I decided I wanted to add a bit more on the left-hand side. And because, again, I didn't want to sketch on top of that gel medium, I'm using a piece of scratch paper here to sort of figure out where I want to go. And then I'm going to start with the bottom line, putting it sort of as low as I can, and then work up from there to add in this phrase, "She has done what she could." And I just love these stories where Jesus has compassion on women. One of the things I love about them is hearing Jesus commend what these women did. And right here, he is saying she's done what she could. She took what she had to offer, and she took action, and she worshiped me. Man, I hope that can be said of me. I hope that can be said of my Bible journaling specifically. Why do any of us Bible journal? I hope it is to offer our worship to the Lord. Now, this is the part where I begin to identify with Mary even a little bit more. I was actually pretty happy with where my page was and very tempted to stop. But I had this vision in my head of this particular glitter on this particular page being poured out just like that expensive ointment that Mary had poured out. And I had that image in my head and I thought, oh, this is just going to ruin it. It's not going to be good. And I got all nervous. And the more I thought about it, the more I wondered, did Mary have any of those fears? Before she walked in there with that alabaster jar, was she afraid? Did she think, oh, I'm going to ruin this. Jesus isn't going to be happy. Jesus isn't going to accept this offering. Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. I just really sort of identified with her as I added the glitter to my page. But I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad that I stepped out there and added that. So you can see how valuable it is every once in a while to have a helpful hand around. I was having such a hard time getting this glitter back into that little tiny Ziploc bag. So here I'm just trimming the edges a little bit of the glitter, not of the Bible page itself, but there were little pieces of glitter that were sticking off the edge slightly, and so I trimmed those up so the edge is nice and smooth. I then went through and darkened my lettering on the right side page. It seemed a little bit lighter to me than the left-hand side. And that was pretty much it. All that was left to do was underline the phrases that Jesus said, the ones that I had added into my margins. And here I'm giving you a glimpse at what the back of this page looks like, which is amazing because I really went to town with my markers and did multiple layers of both the lettering and the picture of the alabaster jar, yet there was no bleed through at all, even from the Brusho, which is kind of notorious for bleeding through. You guys, I hope that this has been a blessing for you. I hope you can glean something from this. I hope you go and get into the Bible for yourself today. It is amazing. Jump into Mark 14 and study the woman who worshiped. And may the offerings that we offer through our Bible journaling, through whatever it is we're doing, let everything we offer to the Lord be just like this, the thing of greatest beauty, the thing of greatest expense. Let us just pour it out on Jesus. He is worth it. If you liked this, click on my face right there to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss more videos just like this one. And here's a couple others for you to watch and enjoy. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.